Alright, I'm going to put a bunch of assignments in here. So complete the equation whose line has this slope, that's m, and the intercept b is -8. Some more people have forgotten that the equation of a line, again, is mx plus b. So if it tells you that m is -2 and b is -8, then you put the -2 in front of the x, and then you can either put plus -8 because the intercept is -8, or you could just put -8. So the equation of a line is mx plus b, and if you know the two parameters m and b, you can make the equation. The equation for an exponential function, so this was a line, and this is the same question, but it's an exponential function. This time I've got the two parameters a and r, and it says the initial value is 42, that's a, the initial value, and the common ratio, that's 6, that's otherwise known as the factor. So this thing starts off at 42. Let's do this one first. This one starts at -8, and then the slope is -2, so that means every time x increases by 1, it subtracts 2. And that's a constant ratio, constant rate rather. This is a constant ratio, so it's going to start at 42, and it's not going to add 6 each time, it's going to times by 6 each time. So this was going to be 252, and this one's already 1,000. Call it 1,300. I don't know exactly what it is. The point is that this equation is a straight line, mx plus b, and this equation is a to start with times the ratio r raised to the x power. So you multiply times the factor x times, whatever x is. So it's 42 to start with times 6 x times. Let's try that again. Complete the equation of a line whose slope is 5 and whose y-intercept is 0, 4. Incidentally, you'll notice that x is 0 here. X is always 0. By definition, x is 0 on the y-intercept. So if I know my slope and intercept, I can put that into slope-intercept form. It's mx plus b. In this equation, I know the initial value and the ratio, so the initial value is -150, and the ratio is 10, so that's 150 to start with, times 10 to the x. So long as you can just remember what the form is, then you just have to fill out the correct form. We can apply that to questions like this one. So we got some locusts here, and they grow over time. This is not the factor. This is the initial value. So you start off with 750. The factor in this case, or multiplier, is 1.85. And it might ask me for a percent, and that's growing. To find 100%, I move the decimal 2 times, 2 times. As a percent, that's 185%, which is 85% more than 100. So the factor 1.85, if you multiply by that, then it's 185% of what it used to be, or 85% more than 100%. You have to be careful to see what the question is asking for. This one's asking for the factor. So every day the locust population is growing, because 185% is more than 100, by a factor of, that's the purple one, by a factor of 1.85. Okay, next one. Here is, I thought I had one that wasn't, oh yeah, I did. So this time, it's exactly the same. The factor is 1.43, and as a percent growth, that is 43% more than 100%. So every day, 43% of people are added to the total of people who receive this email. That's exactly like the previous one, except this one wanted the percent growth, whereas this one was asking for the factor. And by far the most confusing thing is when the number is less than 100%. So this factor is 0.62, which is less than 100%. If I graph it, 78 times 0.62 raised to the x. I'm not going to get a graph that blows up. I'm going to get a graph that gradually gets smaller and smaller. Let me zoom out a little bit here. So it's going to start as a large number, and then it's going to gradually get smaller and smaller instead of starting as a small number and getting bigger and bigger. And that's because the ratio down here that I was multiplying times was less than 1. So if I multiply something by a fraction, it gets smaller and smaller every time. So this factor is 62%. What percent is that less than 100? It's not 62. The percent is 38% less than or subtracted from 100%. So because of the way the sentence is structured, every minute blank percent is subtracted from in this case. Because of the way that that's structured, I don't want, it's not 62 less than 100%, it's 38% less than 100%. That's what gives you 62. So 38% is lost and you're left with 62. Is subtracted from the total concentration. And I think there was one more that I wanted to cover really quickly. No, I believe that's it.